Welcome back. You're watching a rolling coverage on the coronation of Yogi Adityanath and his 50 other ministers. I'll quickly cut across and get you now. It's a stadium that's completely emptied out. And you can see the file of all the karyakartas, the cadres who came across the state of Uttar Pradesh and other states. There were about 60,000 of them that were here, and they're all making their way outside. Now, what is also interesting to note is, though invitations had gone out to multitude of industrialists, celebrities, Amitabh Bachchan, none of them made it to the coronation ceremony, the oath-taking ceremony of Yogi Adityanath. But this was packed in terms of optics, in terms of perception management, in terms of visuals, where the top brass of the BJP was concerned. 12 chief ministers, sitting chief ministers of the Bharatiya Janata Party from across India were here. The likes of Nitish Kumar were here. The entire cabinet, well, not the entire, save a few, of Narendra Modi was here. But if there's one big takeaway, viewers, this ceremony was as much about Yogi Adityanath as it was about Prime Minister Modi. What we were expecting was possibly a speech by Yogi Adityanath. That wasn't quite delivered. The cameras, the optics were all focused on only one man, Narendra Modi. Which leads me to ask this one question, is this the beginning of campaign 2024 for the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because everything of what we saw unfold today had to do more with the PM and less with Yogi. We thought it would be the other way around. You know, on the day of counting, that mega celebration that Yogi Adityanath had in Lucknow, we thought it's going to be a continuation of that, and it's going to be the moment for Yogi Adityanath, that he's going to be the man of that moment. Not quite. There were two men of the moment, and the cameras were focused more on the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. Right from when he entered, right in the end, he came in, way, you know, after everybody had come in. There was a special background music, you know, if you were to understand, a special background music building up to the Prime Minister's entry, and the tempo, you know, was upped right when he entered the stadium, with all, you know, screens focusing only on the Prime Minister. One AV that ran, you know, simultaneously at that point of time, the audio visual that ran, was that of the Kashi Vishwanath corridor with the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, praying by the ghats of the Ganga in Varanasi, meeting the Labharatis. If you remember, viewers, when he inaugurated the Kashi Vishwanath corridor, he met a section of, you know, Labharatis or the beneficiaries there. All of that, mostly about the Prime Minister. Let's cut across right now to get a larger perspective as we continue to beam you visuals from the stadium of Atal Bihari Vajpayee Stadium. Rahul Srivastav is in the studio with me. Rahul, Yogi Adityanath taking oath with 50 of his ministers, or rather 50 plus two deputies and 50 of his ministers. Some, you know, names that were missing, which we were expecting. Mohsin Raza, of course, to be one, though there is another Muslim face in the cabinet, but Mohsin Raza was dropped. On the other hand, what was a huge surprise, you know, Rahul, was Siddharthnath Singh not finding any space. Shrikant Sharma was expected. Satish Mahana, Mahinder Singh, Neelkant Tiwari, all of them dropped. But Siddharthnath Singh, he was, you know, quite vocal. He won in Allahabad with a handsome margin. You know, lots of questions being raised on the ministers dropped as well today.
Yes, Preeti, I see a balancing act here again. That we see that Swatandev Singh, the party president, is in. And there is already a buzz that is somebody like Shrikant Sharma likely to be brought in as the president of the BJP state unit, perhaps to send out a stronger signal to the Brahmins, which remains a very, very critical vote for the BJP in Uttar Pradesh. We see that one Mr. Saxena has been brought in, that he represents the Kayas community. Now, what I find more interesting is, I think there is interesting play emerging here in terms of the Yadav vote, Yadav's representation. This time around, Preeti, there are two of them. Last time around, there was just one. And that makes the battle interesting, that there are more Yadavs being in representation as far as the Council of Minister of Yogi Adityanath is concerned. That could it be the next battle or the game plan of the BJP, that if Akhilesh Yadav has and the Samajwadi Party has failed twice in assembly elections, has had reversals in 2 Lok Sabha elections, there might be some amount of anxiety as far as the Yadav vote is concerned. Will the BJP's next target be the Yadav vote? As far as the Representative Balancing Act between the upper caste and the OBCs and the Dalits is concerned, largely the BJP has maintained the same picture as the last time around. One disappointing element, this time around there were the maximum number of women MLAs ever in UP Assembly history, 47 of them, and one expected that the BJP having brought in 29 women MLAs with large number of women. In fact, 16% more women voting for the BJP than the Samajwadi Party as per India Today's exit poll survey. One expected that the BJP will bring in more than 4 women as far as the Council of Minister UP Yogi Adityanath has brought in.
Rahul, that was going to be my second question because, if the party has risen on one of the planks, which was the woman vote, one would expect that they would reward women where the cabinet was concerned, because women till now have always possibly been the kingmaker, never quite the king. I remember this morning I was at the BJP headquarters, I was speaking to the women cadre, and for the very first time, when you talk to the women cadre, they're a little subservient to their male counterpart. We saw a very aggressive unit of women who now want representation, they want reservation, they want equal space on the table. Was that given today? No, that wasn't given today. But, it's politics. It's not that the BJP is the only party which hasn't given representation when it comes down to the real meat of the matter, when we talk about cabinet, berths or tickets. The Congress did it this time in UP, but that's inconsequential because the Congress had very little skin in the game. But yes, you're right, the women representation was minimal. Once again, I will ask Sachin to get you the last dregs of what remains of the coronation ceremony, the oath-taking ceremony. A lot of cadre has now gone up on the dais there, trying to get pictures, selfies. This was where the entire cabinet has just taken oath of Yogi Adityanath. But everything here was, viewers, more about the Prime Minister, not less about Yogi Adityanath. This was to be Yogi Adityanath's moment. And, Rahul, if your throat's okay and if I can come back to you, that's a big glaring factor here this time around. Because we were speaking to the cadre, a lot of them came to actually hear and listen in to Yogi Adityanath addressing the crowds. Mostly, nearly always, we have seen the Chief Minister speak directly to the cadre that has come in, especially during oath-taking ceremony. It didn't happen. The optics, the visuals were all about Prime Minister Modi.
Yes, Preeti, this event was a lot about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. How Prime Minister Narendra Modi has led the BJP yet again. But if you look at this entire exercise, it may be about creating a big template which will travel beyond UP and also travel in terms of time longer than 2022. It's an event the BJP was trying to create, was a big recall value as far as UP politics is concerned. But it was also a balancing act. Balancing act, a Thakur chief minister, so a Brahmin replaced with another Brahmin, OBCs, Dalits and other castes balanced. I think one very important element is that which we should not miss. Though this event was about Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the successes the BJP has had under him and this phenomenal one, the fact is also this event is something which has been crafted for Yogi Adityanath, if you see it literally. Now, since it has been done for Yogi Adityanath, I think it was a deliberate thing that if Yogi Adityanath has spoken, he would have stolen the thunder. If Prime Minister has spoken, it would have become all about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Tomorrow's headline would have been Yogi's swearing in, but this is what Prime Minister Modi said. If Yogi had spoken, it would have been all about Yogi. I think this event was about Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Yogi Adityanath as a new political template for the BJP in UP. And that is why I think equal honors have been accorded by nobody speaking.
it was to be Yogi Adityanath's day. It's an official function. The Prime Minister anyway cannot speak because till the time the Governor was there, it was to be Yogi Adityanath's day out and out. And people were expecting him to speak. He's done it before in 2017, where after taking oath, he's spoken, to the people. Was there also an attempt to tell people, who are drawing parallels on possibly Yogi Adityanath being the inheritor of the legacy of Modi?
So that's what I mean. You see, Preeti, political messaging needs to be very clear. I think the BJP is, through this event, has created a very well-crafted template in which it does not want anything to be up or down in terms that tomorrow BJP doesn't want any kind of comparisons being drawn. This person has grown in the presence of Rajnath Singh, a senior leader, X was happening. That's what usually happens. I think the BJP has kept the slate clean as far as the postmortems and the controversies which can be there. I think it has just tried to create a big template. The Yogi-Modi, the Modi-Yogi duo, that's I think the order the BJP like to be. Modi-Yogi duo, having won an election with Modi's presence, with Yogi's tridents, and I think that's the template for the future in which the BJP has conveyed that a very strong presence of Hindutva driven by somebody like Yogi Adityanath and a delivery of schemes or ration, prashasan, law and order, as you said, all that will be through Yogi Adityanath. I think that eventually is what the BJP will like people to remember, nothing less and nothing more.
Well, as somebody who covered the event today, there were three takeaways from this. Was number one, that powering ahead is Yogi 2.0. It's going to straddle two worlds, one of Hindutva, and the chants of Jai Shri Ram only got stronger right here in the stadium. We heard वो राम को लाए हैं, हम उनको लाए हैं, वो राम को लाए हैं, अब कृष्णा को लाएंगे, which is basically from Ayodhya. The spotlight will move to Mathura, where to build a temple there is concerned. So yes, the subaltern Hindutva that we've been talking about is live and kicking in Uttar Pradesh, and the BJP has clearly appropriated it. And on the other hand, Sushasan, security, law and order, which was a huge issue, which echoed where especially the urban or the semi-urban pockets in UP were concerned, support for the BJP there coming in. We saw the bulldozer, which has become iconic right now with Yogi Adityanath. We saw a lot of cadre, a lot of supporters actually strapping a mini plastic bulldozer on their heads right now in celebration. All right, so, while Rahul and I continue to get you the latest, but for those who missed out on the ceremony, the big names, the big hits and misses in Yogi Adityanath's new cabinet 2.0. Take a look.
माननीय श्री आदित्यनाथ योगी जी से अनुरोध है कि कृपया शपथ ग्रहण करने का कष्ट करें।
मैं आदित्यनाथ योगी ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि
Yogi Adityanath and his team are ready. The new team Yogi has an interesting mix of old faces and new. IPS officers, bureaucrats and key BJP faces.